Dear Freak Show. I've been married to a wonderful woman for 7 years, which makes the rest of this sound worse, but I have been in an affair for the past 5.
What?
5 years out of 7.
Wow.
That's a commitment.
Is it though?
That's 5 years.
Okay, all right. We listen and we don't judge.
Yeah.
Yet. It says, listen for the last 5. It started with a coworker who also happens to be a friend of my wife. It just happened one day. It wasn't planned. I'm fully aware that doesn't excuse anything, but it's worth saying. We've been very careful and no one has a clue yet. She, the mistress, is pregnant. And I have a feeling that the baby could really be mine. When our friends told us the news, I didn't ask. I didn't inquire. She and I haven't said a word. However, I can see the fear and uncertainty in her face. I'm sure that she suspects it too, even without saying. Since the pregnancy announcement of her and her husband, we've cooled off, but not talking about it, any of this, has my mind racing. I don't know if she's thinking of saying something to him or if I should say something to my wife.
Oh.
I do love her, and the thought of hurting her is eating me alive. That's a little late, dude. All right, never mind. It says, a little bit of fun got out of hand, and now I feel selfish, but I shouldn't be feeling this way by myself. I really need to talk to her, but we aren't mentioning it.
Oh my God, he just destroyed his whole life and everybody's life.
That's what y'all both get. For real.
Okay, listen. The one behind the scenes thing is we get more cheating confessions than any kind of subjects.
Yeah, it seems common.
And are we doing a disservice to the game by are we normalizing cheating now? Just because, like, people like this who they're friends. This coworker is a friend of his wife.
Right.
So the husbands know. So they hang. You're talking about the husband, and they made a pregnancy announcement and all this other stuff. So when you cheat like that, you blow up this whole life and your whole life and everybody. Like, should we banish these people? Like, can they not be involved anymore? Can we treat them like the crap that they, you know what I'm saying? Like, we just treat it like, all right, you cheated, you got a baby outside of wedlock, all right, so we going to the game. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't discard people.
I feel like we're just very jaded these days of situations like this. It's still extremely shocking. But yeah, some people they do end up moving, getting whole new lives because of situations like this when they do want to keep their partner, but they're so embarrassed that they don't want to stay where they live currently. I mean, there are reasons. I mean, it's hard.
But what are we doing in this situation? Like, if nobody's saying anything and nobody's talking about it, do you even say anything at all? Make a problem even if there is no problem?
Isn't it her decision, though, or does he say something? I don't know, man.
He owes the truth
to
his wife.
Yes.
She owes the truth to her husband.
Yes.
If nobody says anything and the husband doesn't ask, then this baby just grows up
and no one ever
with
has
a question mark over it, which is not a new thing, but it's just, I mean, it's disheartening to see so many people just make that stab at just, all right, let's gamble.
Right.
What did he say? We were very careful. Well, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. It still doesn't make it right.
The law of averages, out of 7 years, you cheated for 5. Yeah. It's a possibility of something happening. So I just don't. I mean, it really feels like we've gotten to the point now where cheating ain't really that bad of a sin, and it's like not even biblically. I'm just saying to us.
Yeah, because we read it about it all the time.
We ain't shocked no more.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of people would. I mean, there's a lot of hard consequences when it comes to that. Because you were asking the question. It's hard. Everybody's going to be different, whether you get banished from the friend group or you're just out of the person's life altogether. It depends if they share the news.
That's the word I was looking for. The consequences. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like if somebody assaults their wife or does something like Diddy did or something, you discard those people.
Right.
And it's like, but if somebody cheats on somebody in the friend group and blows up stuff, they still get to hang out. It's like I think we should be a little bit harder on that for some reason. It just really it hit me this morning. Like I'm like another one.
Yeah.
Dang, like how did this become so easy?
And she's pregnant.
And you didn't made around and made a baby.
Or it could not be his. And they skirted that. So potentially he could not continue the relationship. It could be just the wife and the husband's baby and then stop the affair.
So it's a roll of the dice. Like when the baby is born and they find out it's her husband's and hers and they dodge a bullet.
Uh-huh.
And then he calls her like, what you doing this weekend? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just because we've normalized it.
Yeah,
like, and again, maybe it's not theirs.
Yeah. You never know.
Dude, you're not.
So do you want him to say something?
Dude, you're not only going to mess up both of the households, you're going to mess up your work too.
Yeah.
Right, because she's a coworker also.
Yeah.
So you're blowing up work and home.
So one of them has to leave the job. Yeah, everything.
Work, home, and 2 households.
Yeah,
this gonna be wrong. This gonna be wrong, but I ain't saying nothing. I'm not saying nothing.
Until you have to.
I'm not saying nothing if she ain't saying nothing.
Until you have to.
I ain't saying.
You're saying don't say nothing.
You have to come to the agreement with her first, right? You have to have a side conversation.
They haven't even had a conversation.
She's not talking about it.
She's not talking about it.
So I ain't talking about it.
She's like out of sight, out of mind.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about. Me and my husband are pregnant.
Oh my God! Yeah, then you have to go along with it, right? Then
what are you doing? You're in the girl's shoes. What are you doing?
Oh my God! I mean, it depends on if you want to be with your husband or you want to be with him at the end of the day. That's why I said you guys have to make a decision together. That way you're both on the same page.
This don't sound like anybody want to be with anybody else. This just sound like they was being reckless and having fun.
Yeah.
And
this sounds like it needs to be on Maury.
Just be honest, own it up. Yeah, the confession, he does not want to be married. Is Maury still around? There are a lot of people mentioning Maury out here. This is insane. Out of the 941, it says this sounds like the woman doesn't want to say anything, so he just needs to stay quiet and follow her lead. She's the one carrying the baby that might not be his, so don't jump to conclusions and blow everyone's spot up.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Out of the 813, someone somewhere is listening to this and they have a friend who works with their husband and is pregnant and is not the couple that messaged in, and that man is about to have a terrible night once he finds out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's bad.
We do have a wide audience.
Yes, we do. But it is crazy.
Let's see here. Lisa is on the phone. Lisa, what you got for me this morning? What we doing?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, he definitely needs to tell his wife about this whole situation. 5 years and her not knowing about the situation is already enough. Now it's involving a child, possibly his child. I feel that she shouldn't be kept in the dark about the situation. If she decides to stay, she stays. If she decides to leave, she leaves. But he does owe her, at least her knowing what he did. Whether it messes up his household, his job, that's a decision you made, and you've been doing it for 5 years.
Okay, honesty is the best policy.
Clean.
All right, come on clean with that. I guess so. Let's see, Wayne in Tampa. What you got for me this morning?
Hey, what's going on, fam? How y'all doing this morning?
We're good. What's good, man?
Hey, look, man, I literally was in this exact same situation. I was married for over 20 years. Me and my wife's best friend was messing around with each other probably about 19 of them 20 plus years on and off. What I would say, right?
Wait, dog. Wait. You said 19?
Yeah. My wife's best friend, we knew each other when we was real young, and then my mistress and her husband, me and him used to be roommates. And we ended up getting involved. So it's a long story, but basically me and the mistress messed around before she was even married to her husband.
Right.
But I was married to my wife.
Okay.
Then after the fact, she married this guy, but she never got pregnant from me. Long story to say this, man, is that in that whole situation, me, the mistress husband was all cheaters, right? My wife at the time, she probably ended up being a cheater, but at that moment, early on she wasn't. But what I'm leading to is this, man, is that what it came to the realization is that all of us had a messed up childhood, right? Messed up childhoods. So I know for myself, I went through life doing things that were normal to me because that's what I saw when I was growing up. And it wasn't until, honestly, my wife found out about the affair and the girl's husband found out about the affair and everything blew up on everybody. So I ended up getting a divorce. They ended up getting a divorce. You know, so I'm going to be honest with you. If I was in the situation that this guy is in, I wouldn't say anything until, one, I know that's my baby for sure. Now, if it's my baby for sure, then there's an obligation to bring it forward. But if it ain't my baby, it's kind of like no harm, no foul. I don't say nothing, you don't say nothing. We go our separate ways and we leave each other alone forever. That's how I would do it.
Okay.
It's funny using the word obligation when it's like, hey, I married you. And, you know, I mean, but I just had to poke the bear a little bit because that word just, you know, people mad at you right now in the text, but just let you know.
People,
like, you know.
but here, let's just call it what it is, right?
Oh no, we know what it is. No, we don't want to explain them further. We mad at you.
I mean, I was mad at myself too, man. I was mad at myself. But at the end of the day, it's two consenting adults that made a decision to do something that they decided to do. I mean, if one didn't, you know, if there was no SA involved, I mean, those two people made a decision that this is what we want to do, regardless of who it hurts or who else is involved. So those two, before they go blow up these other two people's lives, I'm telling you, if it was me and I lived through it, I would want to make sure that's my baby. Because if it ain't your baby, then you two can cut it. You better cut it. And then you go on with your life and you don't blow up these other two people, other babies' life. Now, if it is your baby, if it was me and it was my baby, then there's an obligation for me to say something. But I'm just telling you from a person who lived through a scenario very, very similar.
Very.
If it was my kid, I'm like, yo, we done. And we go on about our business, and I make it up to my wife, and she don't even know about it. I'm making it up to her. I'm going to get myself in check. But if it is my baby, then that's when reality set in. And I'm the type of dude, if I did have a kid out of wedlock, I'm not going to act like I did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, I got you.
All the mess that come along with that bad decision I made, and I'm going to step up. But
we get it, dog. We get it.
Yeah, you got it.
You show talking a lot to us, boy. You should have talked to your wife. My God, it's all.
Wow.
Like, man, listen, the texts are going in on this.
But is he wrong?
He's not wrong,
I know.
but
that's also the.
But there are also people pointing out the fact that, like, so you gonna blame cheating 19 years out of the 20
with your
on your childhood,
right?
And that's great epiphany, but bruh.
I think it's a representation of how you got somewhere, but yeah, you got to take ownership of it, and he did, and they got divorced because of it. So.
Yeah, but
I think that's smart to find out if the baby is yours first. They're asking. He's like, I don't know what to do. I'm in this messy situation. My advice would be like, find out if the kid is yours and be on the same page with your mistress. And I would honestly want to know if I was the wife.
There were a lot of people who texted in and said you can find out before the birth.
Yeah.
So find out and then you guys move forward on that. But I still think that we just need to stop normalizing the break. Yeah. This whole blowing up of families.
Yeah. Can we be faithful 2025? Like, can we do that? All of us collectively?
I mean, this room, yes.
Yes.
Faithful 2025.
Yeah.
How did 813? Bye, Wayne.
Wayne made some people mad as soon as he said 19 out of 20. We were like, wait, was that 9? No, that was 19. Oh, damn.
If you want more, and I know you do, make sure you hit like and hit subscribe right below.